14 years ago, I bought this on Amazon. And in that 14 years, I have used this more than anything else I've ever bought on Amazon or that I bought for my gym. And I'm going to show it to you guys today. Welcome back to the GymCrafter YouTube channel, everybody. My name is Tim. I am the head gym nerd here at GymCrafter.com, and happy Friday. Today is Fast Friday. It's the segment of videos that I do where we give you just a little nugget of garage gym goodness to get you through the weekend. Not going to take a long time, but I've got something really cool to show you guys today. Like I said in the intro, I bought this 14 years ago. I use it all the time. If you experience pain at all or muscle soreness at all, this is something that you need to have in your arsenal. And I got a new one recently. I got this one. So I get companies reach out to me all the time on via email and in the comment section offering to send me stuff to review. And normally I turn most of it down. I can make a pretty hilarious video about all of the stuff and crazy junk that people want me to review that I turn down. But this is one I said yes to because, like I said, this one is 14 years old. So what is this? 14 years ago, probably longer than that, was the first time I experienced a significant back injury. I blew out 4 discs in my back. And I had to go to physical therapy for almost a year. And while physical therapy was very painful and a lot of work, it did do a ton of good for me. But my favorite part of physical therapy is every time I would go there and I would lay face down on this table and they would hook me up to these electrodes on my back. And they would send this electrical pulses or vibrations or whatever through my back, and it would make the pain really hurt a whole lot less. And then when I went to a really good physical therapist, she would also put a big heavy warm blanket over the top of it. It was amazing. One day I looked at them and I'm like, man, what do these things cost to buy for your house? I want one, I need one. And at the time, they required a prescription and they cost a couple $1,000s each. They're called TENS units. And I don't know what TENS stands for. It's trans something, electric something, neural stimulation or something. It's basically, it's 4 pads or sometimes 2 pads that you put on your body and it sends an electrical current between the pads through your muscles and skin. If you ever seen like the old Bruce Lee stuff where he would put the pads on and he'd make his muscles twitch, and sometimes you'll see these ab straps that you can put on. Well, these are physical therapy units, and for the longest time you couldn't get them. But when I came into physical therapy one day, my physical therapist goes, hey, you know you can buy these on Amazon now for like 30 bucks? And that was exactly what I did before I got home. I don't even think I took my coat off. I immediately ordered one, and that is this guy right here. And let me show you what it looks like here. If you remember what a transistor radio looks like, it looks kind of like that. So it's this guy right here. It looks like a transistor radio. You plug into the top these pads. I buy these pads by the box full, and you plug in these electric leads, you stick them to your body, and then you turn these 2 little rotary dials on the top. So as you can tell with the old black and white LCD screen and the little rotary dials and the 9-volt battery that this works on, there isn't a USB port in sight on this thing. It's a little bit dated. Now it still works. Like I said, I still use it all the time. It's got a bunch of different modes. Basically the way that they work is you can do like a pulsing mode or like a slow in and out mode or just a constant mode, and then you can turn up the intensity. And the idea is that, like, let's say that your back is hurting and like my back hurts in the lower middle portion. You put a pad on either side and then a pad on either side, and that crisscross pattern really lets your whole back kind of feel, to describe it, it feels kind of like when your leg falls asleep and it wakes up and you've got pins and needles, but it's a good pins and needles. Maybe like a local injection of beta-alanine if you guys use pre-workout with the stuff that gives you the tingles. It feels awesome. To me, it feels great. Now, I've had other people try it and some people don't like it, but most people are like, yeah, it's pretty awesome. And then the more you use it, the more you get used to it, the more you can turn up the intensity, and you can turn it up actually enough to where your muscles actually start to contract. It's a pretty cool machine. I use it all the time. So there's a company called Avcoo, something like that. It's one of those Amazon companies, right? And they offered to send this to me, and I've been using it for a little bit, and I actually really like it. So let me show you this. First of all, much sleeker, much more modern, much more updated, nice LED readout. You've got the USB charging in the bottom, no more 9-volt batteries, which is pretty cool. You still run 2 leads into the top of this, and it still uses 4 pads. Another cool thing is the types of pads that you use. So you've got these kind of bigger pads, you've got some smaller pads, you've got some medium-sized pads, so that's nice. And then one thing I really, really like about this is that these pads last a lot longer. Like I said, I used to buy a ton, I used to buy them by the box for these guys, and you can get by with maybe 2 or 3 uses before they don't stick anymore. With these, what I found is I can just keep using them and using them and using them, and then if they get a little dirty or lose a little bit of stickiness, I just take a little water and rub it on there, cleans them right off, and they work great again. I also like the way that the leads connect. With the old school one, you had to like plug a wire, and it was literally like some dude made it in his garage out of an old transistor radio. A little sketchy when I first got it. The first time I used it, I was kind of nervous to turn it on. But with these, it's got these cool little snap ones that you just snap the leads on, so it makes it easy. You can put the pads on first without having to have the leads hanging everywhere, and then just snap the leads on. So it works really well. Another cool thing about this is instead of just 2 dials, it's got 3 different modes. It's got a ton of different, now it shows a picture of a person with different muscles and stimulations, and it's actually, honestly, those modes have nothing to do with what muscle you're doing. It's just each different segment uses a different mode. So some of them pulse, some of them kind of pulse really fast, some of them kind of wave in and out really. So you can find, basically you can find a mode that you like. I've cycled through all of them a bunch of times, and I found a couple that I really enjoy and that really help. So basically, anytime my back is hurting, anytime I've got like muscle pain that's more than just DOMS, and it's more than just, you know, maybe I've strained a muscle or something like that. I've had, you know, I have tendonitis in my wrist, a little bit in my elbow sometimes, so I've tried it for that. And basically, it's a pain reliever. Because of how it stimulates your nerves, it relieves the pain in that area, and it's a temporary thing. It goes away, but it's nicer than taking Advil or muscle relaxers or things like that. It's very, very enjoyable. It's easy to fall asleep with this thing on you. Now, there are some warnings. Make sure that you read the caveats and warnings on this thing, because you are hooking up electrical devices to yourself, and people with pacemakers need to be careful with this. You also need to pay attention to the directions on where you can and can't put these pads, because there are certain places that you shouldn't put these pads, that a lot of people will want to put them anyway, but you shouldn't put them there. And then also other areas like your head and your neck and your face aren't good. But anyway, read the directions, read the warnings if you happen to get one of these. Again, they're not expensive. I'll put a link down below to Amazon where you can pick this one up. Like I said, I really like it. For the price, you know, for a couple of bottles of Advil, basically, these things are worth their weight in gold. So I'm happy to have an updated version. I wish this one came with a cool little briefcase like that other one does, but little carrying bag works fine. And yeah, that's what I had for you today. So I hope you guys have a great Friday. I hope you have an awesome weekend. And if you happen to hurt yourself or get sore over the weekend, you know what to do. But until the next review or podcast or whatever you happen to tune in to GymCrafter for, I'm Tim with GymCrafter.